Alphabet Man, tearing down the strongholds, exposing the darkness, wrecking the enemy's plans. Endurance till the end. It's time for the Alphabet Man Live.
Hey, good morning. Even though the enemy's trying to wreck my plans, keep me single. Because I'm a witness people at the hospital. So I just want to say real quick, because I don't have a lot of time to talk, but I was having some discomfort and some pain. A few days ago, that turned into kind of like a spotting. And yesterday is when last night I actually had a very large loan. And so I just came in and because I was on the road probably about 3 hours and heading to Michigan, and I just couldn't drive anymore because of the pain. And I turned around, there was an ER. So I said, okay, Lord, I'm going to the ER. And so I'm in the ER. I'm going to be fine. It's not life-threatening. It's probably just this. It's pretty deep. One thing I find interesting is that we're going to replay the Monday show. Since I'm going to cut it real short. And so one thing I find interesting is that the demonic attack that was physical, and I know that it was physical because not only because of the pain I've been having, but because the doctor actually asked me if I engaged in anal sex. So because the doctor asked me that let me know that there was evidence of that occurring. But how do I answer that? Well, yeah, but no. I wasn't willing, and I couldn't see what was doing it. It was a demon. I don't even know how to answer that. So I didn't. And so we're just going to deal with the cyst or whatever it is. Yeah. I'll let you guys know what happens. All right? And the doctor's here, and I got to go. So you all be blessed. Watch Monday's show, and I wish I could be with you. God bless y'all. Peace.
Take care, Brother David. We love you. We're praying for you.
The first time ever in someone sharing with me their deepest and darkest secrets and the turmoil that they've been through, I had to shut it down. I had to say, stop. That's it. Right now, we have to stop, but I can't take anymore. I can't. I can't do this right now. We'll have to do this another time. And and it was, I didn't want him to be discouraged because I didn't want him to think that there was something wrong. And so I let him know. I said I just wasn't prepared for all that he had to bring me, and that I wanted to just stop to pray on this and to be able to get prayed up and to pick up the next day. And so when I left, now this is what I really couldn't. I was very upset Wednesday and Thursday, and I haven't really been sleeping. Well, I slept great last night. So, but when I left that home, I felt paranoid. I felt like something or someone was following me. I felt something in the vehicle with me. You know how you can just kind of feel a presence? I felt the presence, and I didn't feel the presence of the Lord. I felt something. I actually would hear a breath or a breathing sound. I kept looking in my rearview mirror. I kept turning my head. It was like in my peripheral vision, I would catch something and I'd turn and nothing was there. So I thought I was just being paranoid or maybe just emotional because of all that I had just heard. And so I go back to the hotel, and when I go into the room, I'm even more paranoid because now I'm in this hotel room by myself, and it has a living room and a bedroom, and so it's 2 rooms, and I'm like, I can't keep up with what's going on in the other room because I feel like something is there. So I end up saying, well, you know what? I'm going down to the hot tub, and I'm going to just relax. And I go down, and it's peaceful. Nobody around. Nobody around. I didn't see anybody except for maybe a few employees, and even in the hotel. And it was in the pool area, and it was just peaceful and quiet. And I get in the hot tub, and I'm relaxing, and the door opens, and in comes this muscle-bound, tattooed from head to toe man. I couldn't even tell you what like nationality or race or whatever he was, because he looked odd, like he could have been anything. And he stands in front of the hot tub, and he drops his shorts, and he has on these little Speedio things, and he gets into the hot tub, and he doesn't say a word. He's glaring at me. I know this sounds crazy because it took me a lot to be able to talk about it with people at all, but I actually felt like nervous, like I couldn't just get up and leave because I didn't want to offend him. And anyone that knows me knows I don't care about offending anyone. So I sat there, and when I would glance past him, he'd still be glaring at me, but then he was licking his lips, and I knew something was wrong. So I grabbed my phone, and I acted like I actually just grabbed it like I heard it, and I went. And then I got up like I had a purpose to move. And he didn't say a word. And I grabbed my sneakers, and I put my t-shirt on and headed out the door. And just as I got to the door, he says, "Come back soon," or "Hurry back." And I just left. So I went up to the room, and so I was using the bathroom, and I had taken the shade off of the lamp in the living room area because I was checking my camera and everything when I got there, when I set up my laptop to for my show the next day. And so as I'm using the bathroom, I see shadows in the living room. And so I jump up off of the throne, and I look in there because I thought maybe somebody walked in my room or the maid came in or something. And there was nobody there. So then I was in the shower. I was paranoid. I mean, paranoid. Like, I can't even explain the way that I felt, but I kept opening the shower curtains because I felt something standing outside. I heard a breathing, a something. So I went to bed, and something attacked me in my sleep, or in my bed, because I wasn't asleep at one point. And this is something sexually attacked me in my sleep, in that bed. I wasn't sleeping at one point, and there was nobody there. My tongue was like this far out of my mouth, and I could physically feel something sucking on my tongue. And it was being sucked so hard that the bottom of my tongue split. it split. That skin between your tongue and the bottom of your mouth, that split completely wide open, and my mouth filled up with blood. During this attack, I could feel something. I'm shaking. I could feel something penetrating me. Once I tasted the blood in my mouth, it released me, and I like kind of just remember sinking back into the bed. And I couldn't talk about it. I didn't want to talk about it because the next morning I felt guilty. I felt guilty and I felt ashamed. I felt like I had actually engaged willingly in sex with a person. When I said on my show Wednesday morning or Thursday morning how there was an attack, there was an attack. But I felt so guilty. I felt like I willfully engaged in sex with somebody. And I didn't want to talk about it. I know I needed to talk about it, and I did mention it to one person, which made it a little easier for me to mention it to another person that I know could help, because another person that had mentioned incubus, succubus to me once before, I just kind of acted like I knew what they were talking about, and I just nodded my head. But now I had to tell them, hey, look, when you mentioned it, I didn't know what you were talking about, and I just acted like I did because I didn't want to feel like I was stupid or something. But I need to know what you were talking about. And I've been afraid to sleep until last night. Since that night, I've been afraid to sleep. I've been pretty worn out, pretty drained. I've been actually napping, just like put my head back on the chair and just pass out for a few minutes. But I've been afraid to sleep, and I felt like whatever it was, that it followed me and it tried to stay with me. And it's been affecting my everyday, my activity, my mind, my emotions. It's been affecting the way I deal with people. There's a few people that have asked, reached out to me to talk, and I don't want to talk because I felt, I no longer feel that way. I felt like I was guilty of doing something because, and I'm gonna keep it 100, because I know transparency is the key. So I'm going to keep it as real as possible, whether it sounds good or not. But I never enjoyed anal sex when I was in that world. I never enjoyed receiving it. Anyway, put it like that. It was just never my thing. But when this thing attacked me, I enjoyed it. And it stirred something inside of me that since Tuesday night, since Wednesday morning, I've been feeling like I've been longing for that. it's like it gave me feelings and emotions that I haven't felt in almost 9 years. But it was so pleasurable that since it happened until yesterday, I'd been longing for it. I've been like wanting it, thinking about it, but afraid to go to sleep because I didn't want it to happen to me. I know that there's something big coming, and that like Roger Weaver put it yesterday, that I'm entering into an arena, a big arena that I have never been in, and the enemy doesn't want me there. And there's some people who don't consider themselves the enemy that don't want me there. So yesterday we went to support Coach speaking at the gathering, and that was phenomenal. The truth about faith and everything that was revealed was amazing. And on the way home, Coach rode with me back to his house, and me and him were talking, and I was telling him about this, and he said, well, we need to do a deliverance. And so, you know, I said, I told somebody in the pre-show that I attended a deliverance yesterday at Coach's, and it was my deliverance. And so Michelle, Coach's wife, Michelle, had a book. She has this book, Prayer Power, Powers of Prayer, Power Prayers. And it's a Sheila Zielinski book. And I actually just ordered it. I thought I had ordered it once before. I guess I didn't, but I just ordered the book because I've been wanting this book because it's powerful. And Sheila Zielinski has a section or prayer or chapter on prayers against spirits of incubus and succubus, and I wanted to talk about this morning because I want people to understand that this is real, that this needs to be talked about, because it's more common than we know. And I didn't know how common it was until I started looking it up and looking at it and seeing that right on YouTube, there's so many testimonies of people who suffered from these types of attacks. And it's not spoken of because we're afraid of what people might think or say, or how we might sound crazy, because I thought I sounded mental. And then there's the guilt and shame part, because it actually makes you feel guilty or shameful, because there is a sense of satisfaction or enjoyment there. And for me, I felt like I actually was engaging in sexual activity with another person, like physically, like willfully went out and did something wrong against the Lord. And I felt like I felt dirty. I felt filthy. I felt like I would return.
Hey, Jared.
To my wicked way.
How about that for a quick out of the ER? So, the doctor said to me, he said, so can I ask you a question? I said, sure. He says, have you engaged into anal sex? And I said, I absolutely have not engaged in anal sex. But how do you answer that? Do you say, hey, doc, it was a demon? And no. So what he told me just now before I left, what he did just tell me was, he said, you are the only person I've ever seen that didn't want to be numbed up for this, just so you can get out of here quicker. And let me tell you, it was not, it was horrible. But he drained what was there, but he said it's not even really a cyst. He said there's infection there. He said, but it's some type of cellulitis. And then he gave me some information on cellulitis and 2 prescriptions for 2 different antibiotics. He said 2 very strong antibiotics because of the infection. And basically it's because what? Because you don't know what it is, because it's some type of cellulitis. I mean, I always thought cellulitis was cellulitis. Guess not. But he asked me if I'd engaged in anal sex because what happened to me last week left physical evidence. Physical evidence of trauma. I don't even really know where to go from there. Because although I can't, I'm like hurting right now. So I could never make it to Marquette, Michigan. But I was hurting worse, I have to say, because of the pressure that was built up. And he did alleviate that. And he said the antibiotics will take care of the rest. But I don't understand how anybody could not believe that anybody could be spiritually attacked. I don't understand it. I'm not in Michigan, Ingrid. I was on my way to Michigan this morning. After about driving 2.5, 3 hours, I couldn't take it anymore, the pain, so I decided to turn around and try to head back to Mount Vernon. And when I tried to head back, it was hurting that bad that I saw an ER off the highway, and I got off the highway and went to the ER because I know it was there in my path, and I saw it for a reason. So, but I didn't make it to Michigan, and I'm not going to be able to make it to tomorrow's event, and that's all right. But whatever this thing did to me or left behind or whatever it is, it has no power. The devil is a liar. I rebuke it. I renounce it in the name of Jesus. And I really think it's sad, and I feel sorry for the people who don't believe in these types of attacks. And then I have to say that I didn't believe in them either. Not like I do now. Not like I do now. I knew there were spiritual attacks. I knew it. But I never imagined that they were like this. And I've heard some stories, but I never even paid it. I got a good sister in the Lord named Wendy right there in Mount Vernon, and she talks about this kind of stuff all the time. She's part of Russ Disdar's team. And I kind of just nod like I know what she's talking about. And I didn't. Now I do. And it's real. And, Roger Weaver was at Coach's house last weekend, and he said to me, he said, David, getting ready to enter into an arena that the enemy don't want you in. And I didn't really get that. I mean, I get it, but I don't. But now I believe, I see that I'm getting ready to enter. Now the residue is complete. Now it's complete. Now it can be launched. I don't know what I'm going to come up against. That's why I need everybody within the sound of my voice and beyond. I need that prayer. I need a covering. I need to be lifted up. I need some people to step up to the plate and say, hey, look, I can go with you 1 month for 3 days. I can go with you for 3 days out of a month. Not every month, but I can do 3 days with you this month or next month because I'm going on the road for 3 days at a time because that's what the Lord put on my heart. I'm going to do that ministry because I know that's what I need to be doing and that's where I need to be. If you can't physically be there and support it, then I'm asking you to financially support it. I'm asking you to spiritually and prayerfully support it because there's so much that I'm seeing so plain. Physical things that are trying to slow me down and stop me. Things that are trying to come in between me and people. Things that have done unspeakable things to me. And you know, I don't even know if I said this in Monday's show, but I didn't want to talk about it, and I felt so shamed and so guilty because something within my body liked it. My flesh liked it. And it had me thinking about it. I felt like I physically went out and did something with somebody, and I didn't. God's honest truth, I didn't. And I know one person had already asked me just the other day, you know, are you sure you really didn't do anything? Yeah, I'm sure I really didn't do anything, but I'm sure that something really did something to me. How about that? Yeah.
One time, I was sitting on my bed, maybe a year and a half ago, and I got this glimpse. Like I was thinking about something, being tempted, and I got this glimpse of how badly my flesh wanted sexual gratification, right? And it was it's hard to describe, but it was so deep and it was so dark that I thought to myself, would I renounce Jesus because of this? Because of this desire? If this desire came on full force, 100%, would I renounce my faith? And it scared me.
Wow.
Looking at the depth of that darkness and that evil, and I've only had like a glimpse of it here and there, right? But I mean, that the desire of the flesh is so deep and so dark.
It is. And you, that's why we have no control. We have no control, none. We have no control outside of Jesus. We have none. You know, all these people running around talking about, I'm walking on the devil's head. I'm stomping on the devil's head. No, you ain't. The devil's walking all over you, kicking you all upside your head, stomping a mud hole in you. You talking about you stepping on the devil's head. You ain't doing nothing. Especially when you're still running around smoking and drinking and carrying on. The lust of the flesh, we all know it. We all know it. And you know what hit me yesterday when we were talking about sodomy and all that? We're all sodomites. We are all sodomites because every single one of us has engaged in oral or anal or bestiality, sadly. Not saying I have or you have, but those three categories cover this entire globe. We are all sodomites. We are all guilty of a crime against nature. Because sodomy is a crime against nature. It is oral and anal copulation between a man and a man, or a man and a woman, or a woman and a woman. Same sex, opposite sex, it don't matter. It's still sodomy. And with that, I'm out of here. Y'all have a blessed weekend. And I'm going to be recuperating this weekend, that's for sure. And I'm going to take it easy. And God bless you all.
God bless you, brother. You have our prayers.
Thank you.